Many people have seen that pride flag that was painted, that mural along the street in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And then more folks also saw this particular guy in this dually pickup truck peeling out on it, making marks all through it and defacing it. As many people saw, many people were horrified by it. And it has gotten a lot of attention from conservatives that then praised him for it. Here's some of the photos of what he then did to it after he peeled off through it and tore it up a bit. And they're praising him for it, of course. And one particular conservative there tweeted out, "A legend is born from his actions." But I guess the back and forth of this, my small shift on this is, he peeled out on this pride flag that was painted on the ground. I would have assumed from the moment that it was put down that something like this would happen. The thing that maybe I'm wrong on is, okay, it's not enough. It's not enough of an energy for me. It's not enough energy for me to give to folks like this to do this. I could have imagined it would happen. Now there's black marks on it. Doesn't mean it doesn't stand for what it did before. It doesn't mean it also still isn't triggering these folks that they think this is the biggest problem in their life. That there is an image on the ground, it's painted with colors and in a particular order that pisses them off. That's what they're upset about. And honestly, I would let it roll off my back. But people were outraged by it, and some of the responses came. First, your thoughts on what they did there, Francesca?
I mean,
maybe I'm wrong.
First of all, that truck, without doing what it's doing, small energy. I mean, all over the place. Like, we know, we get it. Okay, ooh, you jacked up the tires. And the truck that he's ruining, by the way, by what is he breaking? He's like doing some sort of side skid with the parking brake on. Like,
burnout. Destroy the tires a little bit.
Right, like, okay, oh God, you're so, like, again, talk about triggered, you're so upset, people can't live their life, just live your life. Do you have a life to live? And this is the thing, man, conservatives are always like, it's all the poor people who need to work more and need to have, like, we need to means test everything so they can eat. And it's just like, yeah. I think we should like make sure there's work requirements to be a conservative, because these fools have way too much time on their hands.
That's exactly what I'm always wondering. I said, this is the middle of the day, what you do with your life?
Yeah.
Where's the
job? Exactly. Like, look, Jayar and I will let you do that in, like, if you can prove to us that you've been going to your 40-hour a week, job. And if you still have time left over, hey man, have at it. But it seems like you just idle hands.
Well, idle hands a lot of times like comments and like posts from folks that they generally hate about. See Randy McNally. But no, there's another part about this though, because again, that pride flag triggers negative responses in the hearts of conservatives. One particular one is Matt Walsh, and he really has some choice words for a flag. Oh my God, what is it doing to him? Let's watch.
Clearly from the video, the tire marks on the Fort Lauderdale mural were put there on purpose. And this was an intentional act of vandalism, it wasn't. And to that, I say, okay, but what is it that the left said about the BLM rioters? The ones that caused quite a bit more destruction of public property. What was it? It was they're speaking in the language of the unheard. That was it, right? Well, here you go. I would say something similar in this case. The pride flag does not deserve our respect. In fact, it deserves our disrespect. It deserves our contempt and mockery. They already have a flag. It's called the American flag. It's the flag we all share or are supposed to share.
There's a conservative talking about the American flag being the one that we're supposed to be the one honoring and respecting only. And I want you to imagine how many other conservative flags are flown, and then they honestly don't care about this whole process. But he has the most choice words specifically for a pride flag like that one. And what it is that it's a hate symbol. Watch.
And today, nearly all of the most depraved and perverse attacks on children, on tradition, on decency, on common sense are waged under this banner. That's what it signifies, okay? The gay pride flag signifies drag queens dancing for toddlers, males invading women's bathrooms. It signifies castration drugs given to children. It signifies the destruction of the nuclear family. When government officials send that thing up the flagpole or paint its ridiculous colors in the street, that is what they're promoting. It's what they're advertising. It is the cause they want us to salute. Not only should we refuse to salute it, but we should treat it with disdain. We should treat it as a hate symbol because that's what it is. They fly the flag, that flag, because they hate you and your values and what you believe and everything you stand for.
Upside down world coming from this guy, Matt Walsh, and talking about the hate symbol of a pride flag. Because, when people run up into a straight bar with pride flags on their shoulders and AK-47s and start shooting up the place, that happens all the time. Or I'm sorry, it's about hate. So what they're doing is they're telling you how much they hate you, not about how much they love each other. That's what it is. They flip everything upside down, and he says things like they're waging it. He wants warlike terms to be used so he can permeate into these idiots' heads, start attacking. He's also the one who was coming after the Boston Children's Hospital. And guess what? Death threats were sent their way. But at the same time, Graphic 3, again, about those flags, those hate flags, the ones that always show up at these locations where people are pushing hate. I see a Nazi flag. I think there's a Trump flag over there on the side. And also what you'll find is Confederate flags. And they'll say, that's just our history. That's our background. Is it a flag of hate? Because it's not the American flag. What's your thoughts here, Francesca?
I mean, my thought is just like, I could actually hold my breath for the, what is it? Some kind of child porn charges, some kind of like drag queen pass that Matt Walsh that will be dropping. I will hold my breath for that because it's coming. The dude is like a pedo Mr. Rogers in the Upside Down. That's what he is. He is such a creep, and he will not let this go because he himself, again, it is one giant projection. Tell me you can listen to that dude and not be like, that guy touches kids, man. I'm sorry, he touches kids.
Well, he's everything. He's promoted teenage girls getting pregnant and getting married off.
No, I'm done with this man. The plaid is very deceiving. It actually is upsetting to me.
It's one of these things though, but that's what gets the clicks, that's what gets the money, that's what gets everything flowing, and you have to push the hate. Again, the pride flag is a hate symbol. In the meantime, our politicians are ignoring the fact that the #1 domestic violence group is white supremacist terrorism, and they won't do anything about it because they're voters.